Hey everyone, it's Kaycienikole, and today I'm going to take you through a fun mini flow sequence where the focus is going to be on balance, rotation in the spine, and the hips. I would recommend having 2 blocks and a strap. You may use the blocks, but we're for sure using the strap. Have the strap somewhere near the back of the mat and have your blocks somewhere near the front of the mat off to the side so they're ready for you. Let's jump in. Come down onto your back. Nice reclined position. Your strap should be nearby. And then your legs can do anything that you would like. I'm going to give you a couple offerings. Maybe the soles of the feet come together and the knees open up wide, which is going to help stretch across the front of the hips, the inner hips and groin. If you'd prefer just to take Savasana, stretch your legs out nice and long. Let them just fall out to the sides or any other position that feels restful for you. Choose based on how your body feels today. Arms can rest maybe on your torso, out to the sides, or even slightly overhead if you want a little opening through the shoulders and chest. Make sure it's not too intense. We want to just be able to relax here. So establishing a little bit of breath. Let's exhale, let everything out. Through the nose, take a slow breath in, fill up your belly, lift it up into your ribs, all the way up into your chest for this 3-part breath, 3 sections, opening and expanding. And then just open up the mouth and exhale, let it all the way out. Let's do another one just like that. Slow inhale from the bottom of your torso. Gradually lifting and expanding all the way around up to the top. Once you've reached the top, see if you can sip in a little more air. And then just open up the mouth and exhale, let it go. One more, but the breath is going to stay through the nose on the exhale as well. Slow breath in. Fill up section by section, all 3 parts, front, back, and sides. Once you've reached the top, hold it. See if you can sip in a little more. And this time, keep the breath through the nose. Just as slowly exhale, empty out from the top down to the bottom. And then just relax effort over your breath. Let it find its natural rhythm. And just a light constriction down the back of the throat to come into your Ujjayi breath. And we're going to really try to maintain this breath work throughout the practice. Nice audible sound, the vibrations from the breath. Now, wherever you are, go ahead and wiggle through your fingers, wiggle through your toes. Depending on what variation your legs are in, maybe help to lift the knees towards each other. We're all going to stretch the legs out nice and long. Reach them out in front of you. Stretch the arms over your head and reach from fingers to toes, toes to fingers. Maybe shift in the hips a little bit, loosening everything up. And then pull the knees to the chest, hug them in, and sway yourself from side to side. Okay. Keeping the knees bent, set the feet down to the ground and reach over for your strap. We're going to do a little opening into the hips and hamstrings from this reclined position. So once you have your strap open, lift your right foot and take the strap around the ball of your foot. Now you can also just do this by connecting peace fingers around the big toe and extending the leg. But if you're feeling pretty tight, the strap can be nice. Maybe it's necessary. Or sometimes I like to use the strap even if I can hold on to the toe just to provide more space. Extend the right leg up towards the ceiling. Find as much length and extension as possible. Now, once you're there, you can either keep your left knee bent or you can stretch it long as well, which creates a little extra space between the legs. As you reach up through the top leg, notice the shoulders. If they're lifted off the ground, try to hold to where your shoulders can rest down while still holding the tension of the strap. If the leg's fully extended, maybe you even work on pulling the leg in a little bit closer, adjusting the hands as needed. And feel the breath moving all the way down the back of the leg. 2 more here. Deep breath in and out of the nose. All right, let's bring both strap ends into the right hand. Make sure the right shoulder stays grounded as you reach as high as you can, and then just hold on. Now, keeping the tension of pulling the leg in towards the torso, we're going to just open the leg out to the right side, still pulling it in. Now, maybe you move a little, maybe you move a lot, but make sure that your left hip stays down. It doesn't start to curl and lift away from the floor. If it does, back off until you can reground it here. Now, with the leg that's open out to the side, start to take some deep breaths. We're going to be here for a few breaths. I want you to focus on the external rotation in the hip. So almost imagine the heel could start to tilt up and the toes could start to tilt down, feeling that all the way up into your upper thigh bone, rotating in the hip socket. Last full breath here. Inhale, lift the leg all the way back up to center. Now, once it's right above you, switch your hands to the strap. Left shoulder stays down as you hold high. Right hand can rest wherever you'd like it. Now, kick up through that top foot, and you're just going to take the leg a couple inches over to the left side. If you don't feel enough after moving a couple inches, pull in on the strap and kick out through the heel, and you'll feel it all the way down the side of the leg. 2 breaths. Now from here, we're going to take it all the way over into a twist. So as you take it over, feel the right hip lifting off the ground and just take it over as much as you can. You're still holding on the strap. Maybe your head rolls over to the right side. Both shoulders are heavy on the ground. Head rolls back up to center. Inhale, lift the leg all the way back up to center. Then bend the knee, release the strap, and extend the leg all the way out. Shake out your legs and feel the differences in your sides. Okay. We're going to go into that other side. Let's start by bending the knees, walking the feet in. Left knee lifts. Take the strap around the ball of your left foot. And then extend your left leg high. We're going to go through the same steps that we did on the other side. So extend as much as you can. If you're fully extended, maybe pull in a little bit. Try to hold appropriately on the strap to where the shoulder blades can stay grounded, but we still hold the tension. And right knee can stay bent, or you can stretch the leg out nice and long and create more space. Feel your own personal edge and give yourself 3 breaths here. Opening up into those hamstrings. And with the strap around the ball of the foot, as you pull back on it, you're also opening up into your calves and your Achilles. Okay, let's take both strap ends into your left hand, reaching high on the strap, shoulder stays down, right hand releases off to the side. Now keep the tension as you open the leg out to the left side. Keep pulling it in. And then once it opens out to the side, make sure your right hip stays down. We're going to focus on that external rotation again. So heel starts to angle up, toes start to angle down. Feel that all the way up into the hip socket. Keep pulling in on the strap. 2 more deepened breaths. Now inhale, lift the leg all the way back up to center. We're going to switch hands once it's right above you. Right hand holds on, shoulder stays down. Left hand releases off to the side. Now as you kick up through the heel, maybe pull in a little bit more. Take the leg only a couple inches over to the right side. Once again, if you don't quite feel enough, keep focusing on extending out through the heel and pulling the strap closer to the torso until you feel the side of the leg start to light up. 2 more breaths. Now take a deep breath in And on your exhale, pull the leg all the way over to the right and towards the ground, feeling that left hip lift up and over until you find the depth of your twist. Left shoulder stays down on the ground. Maybe the head rolls over to the left. Let's take a couple more breaths here, really feeling that twist, that rotation, but also feeling that opening through the outer hip down the side of the leg. Head rolls back up to center. Slowly lift the leg all the way back up to center. Bend the knee, release the strap. You can set the strap off to the side, out of your way. Stretch your legs out long and shake them out. Let's hug the knees to the chest. Sway yourself a couple times side to side. We are going to make our way up to a seated position. You can either roll over to a side and press up, or grab the backs of your thighs and rock and roll your way up to a seated position using a little more momentum. Once you're up, cross the legs, spine up tall, hands together at your heart center. Let's take a deep breath in, close the eyes, deep breath out, and set an intention for your practice today, whatever that is. Okay, let's gently blink open through the eyes. Hands cup over the knees. We're going to do some seated cat-cows. Let's take a deep breath in, long lifted spine. Exhale, chin to your chest, tuck the tail round the back. You can even curl back into it, get that full flexion in the spine. And then inhale, scoop your heart forward and up, lift up through the chest, open up, sit bones draw back. Exhale, round, chin to chest, tuck the tail, curl. Inhale, open, reverse the motion. Exhale, round. We're just going to go through one more full, complete round. Inhale, scooping forward and up, seated cow pose. And exhale, round, seated cat. Make your way back up to a nice neutral spine. We're going to come into tabletop so you can either rock over the knees or sweep the legs off to the side. Make your way onto all fours, hands and knees. Let's walk the knees and the feet together. Tuck the toes. And as you tuck the toes, walk the hands back as you sit the hips towards the heels. And begin to float your knees off the ground, walking the hands in. And as you do, find a focal point, lifting the chest. Maybe bring one hand to your heart, and if able, bring both hands to your heart, testing a little bit of that balance, warming up through the feet. Knees point forward and the spine lifts tall. Try to avoid the spine curling over. Do what you can. That's always enough. One more breath. Now, option to keep the knees floated is you lower your hands. You can always lower the knees if you need to. Walk the hands forward and then downward facing dog. Lift the hips up and back. Reposition hands and feet as much as needed to find your appropriate distance. And then just start to pedal out the legs a little bit here. Start to find some space. Pressing weight back into the legs. So bending them if you need to. Finding length into the spine. Feel the shoulders broaden across the back. Let's take another breath here. Inhale, come high up onto the toes. Exhale, looking forward. Step or walk to the top of the mat, landing in a forward fold position. Now, inhale, halfway lift. Pull the heart forward. Sit bones drop back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come up to standing. Press through the feet. Reach the arms up over the head. Open up the chest. Exhale, take hands to your heart center. Inhale, arms reach up high, pressing through the feet, reaching through the fingertips. Exhale, forward fold, hinge at the hips, bend the knees as much as you'd like. Inhale, lengthen the spine halfway, pull the heart forward. Plant the hands, step back into a plank position. We're going to go through a Vinyasa sequence together. We're going to go through this a lot today. So we're going to establish the movement. If you're already familiar, great. If not, we're going to break it down. So when I give the term, take your vinyasa, this is what we're going to talk about. Begin to rock your weight slightly forward, maybe drop the knees. That's perfectly fine. Exhale, you're going to lower halfway or all the way down. Then inhale, lift up through your heart, flip to the tops of the feet, open up across the chest, shoulders away from the ears. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Make your way back however you would please. Nice. Let's do that one more time. Rock forward into plank position. Take another breath in. On your exhale, rock forward, maybe drop the knees, lower half or all the way down. Inhale, lift the heart, flip to the tops of the feet, shoulders soft, cobra or upward dog. And then exhale, downward facing dog. So we finish that vinyasa sequence right here in your downward facing, but you can always take child's pose anytime you'd like for a little added rest. Inhale, come high up onto the toes. Exhale, look forward, step or hop to the front of the mat. Bring the feet as closely together as you can. Halfway lift, breath in, pull the heart forward. Exhale, fold, release. Bend the knees, inhale, chair pose, hips drop down, arms reach up, or hands can come together at heart center if that feels better on the shoulders. Really pull the hips back, weight into the heels, and then sink your hips down, tailbone reaching towards the ground. Try not to flare into the lower back and flare through the ribs. By the tail reaching down, you can knit the ribs in and feel more core engagement. One more breath. Inhale, stand up, reach up, and exhale, hands come all the way down to the sides. Okay, we're going to move into our first flow. Make sure that those blocks are somewhere nearby. We're going to work a little bit of that stability and balance. So let's start by crossing the right leg over the left. So the legs are crossed, but try to line it up so that your right foot is centered in the mat. So right foot stays centered, left foot is behind. Now square through the hips, arms reach up, take a deep breath in. And exhale, forward fold, hinging over. From here, take a couple breaths. Feel that stretch down the side of the leg. Now inhale, lengthen your spine. As you lengthen the spine, hands can stay at the floor or at the blocks. You're going to feel weight shift into that front foot, your right foot. And then you're going to take your left leg and sweep it back behind you, about parallel with the ground. Come up onto the fingertips. See if you can bring one hand to your heart center. If able, bring both hands to your heart center. And if able, lift your spine until it's parallel with the ground. Warrior 3. Feel that stability, the balance. Take it to the variation that serves you. Now the hands can stay lifted for an extra challenge or lower them down for an extra point of contact. You're going to bend your standing leg and take a big step back with your left foot for crescent lunge. Arms are going to reach up tall, make any little micro adjustments that are necessary here. Sink into the legs. Let's take a deep breath in, long lifted spine. Exhale, open arm twist to the right side. 2 breaths here. Lifting on the inhale, rotating on the exhale. One more deep breath in and a deep breath out. Inhale, back up into your crescent lunge, sweep your arms high. And then exhale, warrior 2. You're going to open up the back foot, open up the arms forward and back, and then sink into the front leg. Once again, make any adjustments necessary. Rolling the front thigh open. Hips are nice and neutral. Let's take another breath here. Flip the front palm, straighten out the front leg. Inhale, reverse triangle, reaching all the way up and back, stretching from your front foot to your fingertips. One extra breath. Inhale, come up with the spine, arms to a T. Exhale, reaching forward. Let your right hand drop down, maybe to your shin, a block, ankle, or to the floor. Open up the ribs and chest, left hand high, shoulders are nice and stacked. Rolling that bottom shoulder open so we're not collapsing into it. Let's take another breath. Now looking down, bend your front knee as the hands come to the ground. Pivot on your back foot, step back, take your vinyasa. High plank to low, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or upward dog by floating thighs and hips. And exhale, downward dog. Inhale, come high up onto the toes. Exhale, look forward, step or hop to the front of the mat, feet together. Halfway lift, breath in. Exhale, fold. Bend into the knees, inhale, chair pose. Sink in, 2 breaths. Variation with your arms, whatever you please. Tail down, weight into the heels. On your next inhale, stand up, reach up, and exhale, arms drop down to your sides. Okay, now we're going to do the other side. Left leg's going to cross over the right, but make sure the left foot is lined up in the center of the mat. Square through the hips, arms reach up, breath in. And exhale, hinging forward, hands drop to your blocks or to the ground. Just a nice grounding point here. Let your body drape over. Feel the stretch into that outer right hip. Just one more breath here. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Keep the spine long, adjust the hands, maybe bring them up onto blocks. Weight into that front left foot. Right leg's gonna sweep all the way back. Warrior 3. Come up onto your fingertips. See if you can bring one hand to your heart. And once again, see if you can bring both. See if you can bring your spine so it's parallel with the ground. Breathe. Now, hands can stay lifted or you can lower them down for extra balance. Bend your standing leg and take a big step back with your right foot for crescent lunge. Adjustments, make them as needed. Arms reach up, breath in. Settle in here. Nice and strong in your foundation. Now let's take a deep inhale, lifting the spine. Exhale, open arm twist to the left side. Rotate your ribs, rotate your chest. Couple breaths here, lifting on the inhale, rotating on the exhale, not pulling on the arms. It's all happening in the torso. The arms are simply following. One more breath in and a breath out. Inhale, come back up into your crescent lunge. Arms sweep high. And exhale, warrior 2. Set the back heel, open up the arms. Make those adjustments. Back leg is straight, front knee is bent, rolling the thigh open. Neutral in your pelvis, arms parallel with the ground. Now let's flip the front palm. Straighten out the front leg. Inhale, reverse triangle. Reaching up and back. Spend an extra breath here. Reaching away from the front foot. Now inhale, lift your torso, arms to a T. Exhale, reaching forward for triangle pose. Left hand drops down, shin, block, ankle or floor. Right hand high, shoulders are stacked, spine is long, rolling open through the chest, through the ribs. Let's take one more deep breath in. Exhale, looking down, bend the front knee as the hands come to the floor. Pivot on the back foot and step back to take your vinyasa. We'll meet in downward dog, move at your own pace, and take the variations that work for you. Okay. Inhale your right leg up towards the ceiling. Open up the hip, bend the knee. Inhale, straighten the legs, square the hips. Exhale, take a big step forward to the front. Make sure knee is over the ankle. Find your balance. Inhale, rise, come all the way up into crescent lunge. Exhale, open arm twist to the right side. Rotate ribs and chest. Inhale, bring it back around to crescent lunge. Exhale, hands to your heart center. Start to lean forward. Find a focal point. Come up onto the back toes. Push into the front leg to lift the back leg, warrior three. Now we're going to take this to half moon. Blocks can be handy here. Right hand comes down below the shoulder, either to a block or to the floor. Make sure your standing leg stays nice and straight. Open up the hips, open up the ribs, open up the chest. Maybe left hand reaches high. Find your breath here. Now, stay here. The top hand can always come down for extra stability in this transition. Otherwise, bend your standing leg. Take a big step back with your left foot. Open it up 90 degrees. Inhale up, warrior two. Settle in. Flip the front palm, straighten out the front leg. Inhale, reverse triangle. Exhale, reaching forward, triangle pose. Right hand drops down, left arm reaches high. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, bend the knee, hands come down, pivot, and take your vinyasa. Take your time. Rest is always available. When you're ready, inhale, left leg up. Exhale, open up the hip, bend the knee. Inhale, straighten the legs, square through the hips. Exhale, big step forward to the front. Find your balance here first. When you're ready, inhale, come up, crescent lunge. Exhale, open arm twist to the left side. Inhale, come back up, crescent lunge. Exhale, hands to your heart center. Lean forward, come up onto the back toes. Press to the front leg to lift the back leg up, warrior three. Now, left hand lowers to a block or to the floor below the left shoulder. Standing leg straight and strong. Right hand to the hip. Open up your hips. Open up your ribs. Open up the chest and shoulders. Maybe the right arm floats up. Half moon. Breathe. Now, bend your standing leg. Take a big step back with your right foot, 90 degrees as you set the heel. Inhale, come up, warrior two. Exhale, sink in. Make any adjustments. Flip your front palm, straighten out the front leg. Inhale, reverse triangle. Exhale, reaching forward, left hand down, right hand high, triangle pose. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, bend your knee, hands come down, pivot, take your vinyasa. Let's take a quick child's pose, drop the knees, sink the hips towards the heels, relax your spine. We're going to go through one more sequence here, both sides. Feel free to take a deep breath in, open up your mouth and let it go. You can either stay in rest or when you're ready, let's make our way back. Downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg up. Exhale, open up the hip, bend the knee. Inhale, straighten the legs, square the hips. Exhale, big step forward to the front. Find your balance. Inhale, crescent lunge all the way up. Exhale, open arm twist to the right side. Now stay with me here. As you stay in your twist, reach forward with your front hand and drop it down to the inside of your foot. Right hand high, dragonfly twist. Now, the hand that's on the ground can also come to a block for more space. We're going to take this to a revolved half moon. So take your bottom hand, big reach forward with or without the block. Push off the back foot, lifting the back leg. Make sure your front hand is below the shoulder and then really twisting open through the ribs and chest. Right hand high. Take another breath. Exhale, take your right hand down. Now plant the right hand to a block or to the floor below the shoulder. Left hand to your left hip. Open up the hips, open up the ribs, open up the chest, coming back into that half moon. Maybe the left hand reaches high. Now stay with me. Top hand can stay high or you can drop it to the ground. You're going to take your lifted leg and kick it forward towards the front of the mat. Kick it forward, keep it lifted, and then slow and controlled. Lower it down to meet your right foot, landing in a forward fold, arms drop down, release over. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the palms, step or hop back. Take your vinyasa. Last side here. Let's inhale, left leg high. Exhale, open up the hip, bend the knee. Inhale, straighten the legs, square the hips. Exhale, big step forward to the front. Find your balance. Inhale, crescent lunge, rise. Exhale, open arm twist to the left. Stay in your twist. Reach forward, drop your right hand down to the inside of the foot, left hand high, dragonfly twist. Now, bottom hand is going to take a big reach forward, maybe take a block with you. Come off your back foot, lift it up parallel with the ground, and then open up the ribs and chest. Revolved half moon. We're going to take the top hand, bring it down on an exhale. Left hand underneath the shoulder, blocker to the floor. Open up the hips. Open up ribs and chest. Right hand to your waist. Once you're open, maybe right hand reaches up. Half moon. Top hand can stay lifted for an extra challenge or bring it to the floor. Lifted leg is going to start to kick forward towards the front. Kicking forward. Once it's out to the side, slow and controlled, lower it down to meet your left foot. Right hand drops, landing in a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, take your final vinyasa. Once you're done, drop into a child's pose. Hips sink back, spine relaxes, and just feel your breath here. Maybe open up the mouth and let it go. As many times as you need. Okay. When you're ready, we're going to come up into a tabletop position, turning sideways on our mats to prepare for froggy pose. We're going to really target inner hips and groin here. So from your tabletop, sideways on your mat, walk your knees as wide apart as you can get them. As the knees walk wide, open up the feet until they're the same width as your knees. Flexing into the ankles. Keep the hips aligned with the knees. They're not sinking forward or back. You can walk the hands forward. You can lower your forearms, blocks or to the floor. Maybe you open up the elbows and lower the chest towards the ground. Whatever variation you're in, 4 to 5 slow breaths. One more here. So you can either come out of this position by simply sliding forward and out, or come up onto your hands, walk your knees and your feet back in, until you can make your way to a seat and just shake out your legs. You're going to grab a block, take it with you, and come down onto the back. As you come onto your spine, bend the knees, walk the feet in towards the hips. We're going to come into a supported bridge. So lift the hips, slide the block, whatever height, underneath the back of your pelvis, right to your sacrum. And then just relax over it. If you want more intensity, lift the block higher. If you want less, lower it closer to the ground. Take about 5 breaths here and just let that lower back relax. Last breath here. Now lift the hips, remove the block, set the block out of your way, and lower the spine back down to the ground. And then you can windshield wiper your knees side to side and just loosen up the lower back. Arms out to a T. Separate the feet the width of the mat and just let your knees swivel all the way over to the right side. Take a breath or two here. Inhale, swivel them to center. And exhale, swivel left. Same thing, couple breaths here. Then let the knees come back up to center. Keep the feet wide and just let the knees knock in and rest on one another. You can always adjust the feet until it's comfortable for you. Hands can rest down to your sides, maybe on your torso, overhead. This is where we're going to take our final rest here today. We're only going to be here for about a minute or two, so if you want a longer Savasana today, then go ahead and hit pause and take as long as you'd like, or take any last movements that you would like. Otherwise, one deep breath together. Let's exhale everything out. Take a slow breath in, fill up your belly, all the way up to your ribs and your chest, that 3-part breath again. Once you've reached the top, breathe in a little more, and then open up the mouth and just let everything go. Let your full body relax. Let your breath relax. Let your mind relax. And just drop into presence. Drop into stillness and relaxation. The next couple minutes are yours to simply enjoy. Now slowly begin to deepen your breath here. Little movements in your fingers and your toes. Rocking your head side to side. Separating the knees, stretch the legs out long, reach the arms over the head, stretch full body just like we did in the beginning. And then pull the knees to the chest, arms wrap around, sway side to side. You can roll over to whichever side feels best. And then just use your top hand to help press yourself into an upright seat of your choosing. Eyes closed, spine up nice and tall, hands joined together at the heart center. Thank your bodies for all that they do for you. Maybe setting an intention to guide you from this moment forward. And thank you so much for allowing me to guide you today. Open up your eyes when you're ready. Whew. So we did a lot in such a condensed amount of time. Lots of energy, lots of internal heat and movement. I would love to hear how that felt for you in your bodies. It's okay to feel wobbly. It's part of the practice. Otherwise, share with a friend, and I'm looking forward to practicing with y'all again next time. Thanks so much.